Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic. So did you know that I'm a Biden supporter?
What?
No, sorry. Actually, what I was told was that I'm a Trump supporter.
What?
Yeah, because, we've talked about it before where I've told you that, like, when you have discussions with people online, Republicans are not very fun to have discussions with because they ignore you.
Right.
They don't want to talk about anyone else's viewpoint but their own. Okay? I think of that crazy Lori Green lady that, like, tries to tell Nelson that Doc Allred is opposed to the measure, and Nelson shows her that that's not possible because he was quoted in the Orange County Register as saying he wrote the measure, and she blocks him because she doesn't want to hear other people's viewpoints. Then you've got the Democrats that I deal with. They're interesting because most of them will wind up blocking you, but along the way to blocking you, and this is the funny part, along the way to blocking you, it'll kind of go like this, You're a stupid jackass. Oh, really? I'm sorry that you think that, but, I don't really care what you think about me. See, you're such a dick. Yeah, well,
Such a dick for not caring.
I don't really care what you think about me. It's none of my business. But let's go back to talking about the issue. You're a stupid moron. Okay, and this goes on, right? They cuss at you. They do all this stuff. So then after a while, what do I always say? I take it for so long, and then I unload.
Right.
And so I'll be like, I'll say something stupid like, you're like the perfect example. Person will call me fat and I'll say, yeah, you're right. I could lose weight. You can't change how you look if they have a picture up, or I can say, or you can't change your ugly personality. There's so many things you can say back to that.
That's the best one.
And they have nothing they can say back. Nothing. Zippo. Then they block you. Now, wouldn't you usually block somebody because you were offended by something they said? And yet, you're going to block me because one time I went off on you when you kept going off on me the whole time and I never said a word.
We live in a world where people are offended by people who don't agree with them.
We also seem to live in a world where the only encounter that matters is the last one you had with somebody.
Yes.
Like, I didn't really intend for this to go in this direction, but this is kind of an interesting thing to talk about.
It's fine.
You used to, in society, you'd have a falling out with somebody.
Right.
And in the beginning aspects of that falling out, you'd think to yourself, well, how serious is this really? Like, okay, so I'm pissed off. Maybe I don't want to talk to them for a day.
Uh-huh.
Or I'm done with this person. Either way, there was going to be another interaction. And that other interaction was going to be, yo, I didn't like what happened, but we're friends, so let's work through this. Or, yo, I didn't like what happened, and I didn't like it so much that I can't handle being your friend, so we're done.
Fuck this, I'm out.
Okay? One of those two things was going to happen.
Right. Nowadays,
what happens is, it's like, in that other example, they could appeal to, like, their friendship. Things that happened we're friends, so let's work this out. But today, it's just like, only that interaction matters. You are such an asshole. I can't believe you're such an asshole. Really? So those other 73 times that I paid for your lunch or your dinner, picked you up from your work, didn't charge you any gas money when I drove you back and forth for a week, none of that matters.
Right.
It's only what happened just now. I said something that pissed you off, so therefore I am that asshole.
Right.
I don't understand that because I feel like you're devaluing people in general because you're only valuable to them if you think and act the way they expect you to. It isn't a matter of your whole being who you are. It's just that point in time.
this conversation. This is why I don't have any friends.
Okay. I think I understand why, but explain it.
Because I tend to be occasionally super offensive. And people don't take into consideration all of the nice things that I do for them over the time. They just decide one day that I'm an asshole and that they're done. You screw up once and people aren't your friend anymore. So now I don't have friends. It's kind of on purpose, I think.
Well, I kind of feel that way. But what I feel, in addition to what you said, is that, and I'm sure you also feel this way, but you just didn't express it. I also feel that people will tend to create their own view of you without actually knowing you. So, you have a casual acquaintance, use as an example, like the Lewises. Okay. They knew us.
But didn't.
Quotes, but they didn't really know us.
Right.
And the proof of that would be how many times she would act like my wife, and I'd tell her, last I looked, you're not my wife. I'd be really blunt about it. And I would think to myself, she's never going to talk to us again. And sometimes she'd be a little butthurt for the rest of the game. But man, it could be a 9 a.m. game and we could be at a tournament and we could have a 1 p.m. game. Game ends at 10:30. We show back up at 12:30. She's talking to me again.
I know, she got over it really fast.
Was weird. Okay, it was really weird. But the thing with her was she never got the message that, hey, I don't like you. I don't want to deal with you. She never got that message. So that's why sometimes you have to be blatantly honest with somebody about something. And that can come off as really rude and obnoxious, but sometimes you have to be. And that's why I end up not having friends, because of that kind of thing. That same thing. I do all these nice things for them, and then we disagree on one thing and suddenly I'm a piece of garbage.
Yeah. I don't take that very well. So.
And then you get people who like in that situation, in the sports thing, they thought they knew us, but they didn't know us because they didn't take the time to get to know us. And they proved by their actions, i.e. continually bothering me with the same issue, that they didn't get who we were. They just didn't get it. And so then when we would be sarcastic to them, they would think we were joking. They thought that was, nobody would ever talk to me that sarcastically. They must be joking. No, we were being dead serious. I
forgot about that.
It's like that Captain Jackass guy. He tried to out sarcasm me. Good luck with that.
He's too stupid to do it.
Good luck with that. You're not going to out sarcasm me.
That dude.
Especially when you piss me off by saying some of the things you say. You're not going to out sarcasm me. So, okay. So we have all these weird situations that go on. But then you crazy lunatic over here, you got your crazy short-term rentals business that's going on, and you got people helping themselves to stuff now. What the hell is this about?
It was great. That was so great.
You got to hear this, people. She comes to me and tells me this story. Oh, by the way, she had pictures that people sent her from video cameras of this situation.
I have videos of this person.
It's going to blow your mind.
Okay, so
go for it.
Indianapolis, not the safest place in the world to live, apparently. We have a house. We have the house right next to it as well. And the guests we had, all of a sudden on I think it was Thursday of last week, they're messaging us and saying that the house has been broken into, the security camera in the back has been destroyed, and the TV from the living room has been stolen. And I'm just I was so suspicious. I was these jackasses decided they didn't want to stay anymore. They stole our TV, and now they're trying to say the house was broken into. I was positive it was the tenants.
I remember you saying that.
It wasn't. My apologies, dear tenants. It wasn't you. Whatever. Then we get, from the Ring doorbell on the house, a full face picture of the dude with a bandana around his face.
Which hold on. You forgot to tell them about where he disabled some cameras.
Broke the camera in the backyard.
So he's smart enough to do that, but there's a damn Ring doorbell right there in front of you and you don't see it?
Yeah, that wasn't great. I also don't know. The Ring doorbell's on the front door, but he busted the security camera in the backyard. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, why did he go to the trouble to do that and then come in through the front?
Yeah. But anyway, the Ring doorbell caught him on the way in. So whatever. Okay. And then one of our neighbors' Ring doorbells caught him walking down the street carrying the TV.
But here's the thing that bugs me. Is there no traffic there at all?
Well, he's in jail. The neighbors caught the police and they arrested him. He's in jail.
Oh, so the neighbors called the police because he was cruising down the street with a TV.
Yes.
So then now it kind of changes my opinion of what this topic is about. Because this topic isn't just about the thief, but this topic is about stupid thieves.
I know. It was the middle of the freaking day. Because our tenants left for work at like 9 a.m. and they came back at 3 p.m. Bro came in and stole the TV midday and was cruising down the street with like a 60-inch flat screen under his arm. It's not a small TV.
Yeah,
big one.
He was a big dude because he was holding that TV with one arm.
Yeah, one arm. And then, okay, whatever. So police reports, all the things, that follow a break-in, whatever.
Right.
The next day, our cleaner sends us a message. He took all the spoons and forks too. Not the knives, not the serving spoons or anything like that, or the like miscellaneous utensils in the back of the drawer. Just the small spoons and the forks.
That's so out of this world bizarre.
I don't even understand who would steal spoons and forks.
And did the police not find that on him when they arrested him?
I don't know. They're not giving us a whole lot of information because we weren't there.
Yeah, it's an ongoing investigation. So you're basically asking for public information, and they're not going to give you that because it's an open investigation. But
my guess is they'd give more information to the actual owner of the house.
Owner. Yeah.
But he's not the easiest person to get a hold of from Colombia.
As long as it gets handled, it's probably not a big deal.
At
some point, a detective's going to come around to ask because they need you to testify that it was yours. Yeah, they need you to testify that belonged to you.
They called me earlier. They needed all the pictures that we have of the space and proof that was our TV. And I think we're getting our TV back.
Oh,
I probably should have just asked that detective earlier about the spoons and forks. Like, what about our kitchen utensils?
Yeah,
like,
that's...
This dumb son of a bitch stole our forks.
It's the oddest thing, though.
I know. I tell you, if I broke into our house, like our house right now, the TV for sure, it's right there, right? It's the TV. But
good luck getting it out of there.
Am I going to go into the kitchen and dig through the drawers to look for forks and spoons?
No, especially forks and spoons. It's weird.
It's not like he grabbed himself a big old cutting knife to protect himself.
Which would make sense, but like forks and spoons, what in the hell? And why not take all the utensils? I mean, if you're in need of utensils, why are you leaving some behind? Or was he like filling in the gaps in his own utensils?
Maybe.
He's like, dude, they've got IKEA utensils just like me, man. I'm going to take those. I don't have those.
Except ours are just Amazon Basics.
I know.
The cheap, crappy ones.
I know. It's why I don't stress out about them when they go into the...
No, ours are from IKEA. The ones that were stolen were Amazon Basics.
Still, I don't stress out when they're not that expensive.
I think we need a new set of them, though, because they've all gone through the garbage disposal and all the spoons are lacerated at this point.
We probably do need a new set. So make that a reality, I guess. But
anyway,
I'm shocked that people, I don't know, I'm just shocked that people have the balls to walk down the street carrying a giant TV and not expect someone to call the cops.
I also learned that
if you were going to carry a TV, don't you think you'd make sure you had the fucking receipt with you? To be like, yo, boom.
Or at least proof that I'm moving into an apartment in the area or something. Yeah.
Because just cruising down a city street, nowhere near where you live, with a 60-inch TV under one arm?
Yeah.
You probably, you're going to have to prove that. And when you can't, they're going to take you to jail. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and everybody in that neighborhood knows that those are Airbnbs.
It's funny to me how many people know.
Like, they've called us before and said, guess we're moving a lot of things out or into the house. And the neighbors just call us. Because they like to protect our stuff, and we take good care of the houses, so.
Well, it also is good for them, because by reporting those weird actions, you won't rent to those people again.
Right.
Because you know what it is. Some people come to a city on a regular basis for somewhat illicit business, and they pick an Airbnb to stay at, and they happen to like one, they'll stick with it a couple of times, This way, by the neighbors letting you know, they're not dissing on you, and by cooperating back, you're showing them that you're, professional and that you are capable of being there and not, causing havoc in the neighborhood. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. It it shows me what's possible, like, you know, with that kind of stuff. That's just...
Well, it reminded me a lot of the situation
amazing.
where your car got broken into in Lethbridge, actually.
Yeah.
Like the way that the neighbors handled it and the way that the police handled it.
I completely agree with you. So, we were talking about how I was like a Trump supporter because apparently I don't fight with Republicans enough.
Okay.
But like I said, I can show you places where I made a comment. Trump denied asking to be put on the Mount Rushmore, but then basically said, but it doesn't sound like such a bad idea if someone wanted to do it. And then I said, of course you think it's a good idea. You love looking at nothing more than looking at yourself in the mirror. And, you know, no one will respond to that. But if I said the same thing on a Joe Biden post,
oh my God,
400 people would beat me up.
And
then block me.
There's a page on Facebook called Woman President or something like that. And they're obviously activists to get women elected.
Uh-huh.
But they're supporting Joe Biden. And, of course,
yeah,
his lovely female VP. The lovely was sarcastic, by the way.
Correct. I understand.
So, this got shared to the libertarian pages today, and they swarmed that page. Swarmed. Like, if you're going to be pro-female for president, maybe you should be pro-female for president.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting.
I saw a tweet
but those people get butt hurt.
I saw a tweet that somebody put out that said, you know, if you really are for helping women get elected, here is a qualified woman. Why are you ignoring her?
Right.
At the very least, here's my thing. You know, you watch, like, it's a good thing you brought up there. You know, you watch, like, a television show and, like, the boyfriend will be there and he'll just be supporting the girlfriend, but he won't step in and he won't take control. And he's just trying to let her handle it, right? Let her be her own person. And then they always portray that girlfriend as I'm so mad at him afterwards because he didn't step up and defend me and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, if I defend you, you tell me you could have done it yourself. So then when I don't defend you, you tell me I should have defended you. So basically I can't win in either situation.
Yeah.
So we have those kind of things. Well, they're here saying they want to have women get elected, but yet they're actually supporting a man who's then going to give the woman the number 2 spot. That makes no sense. There's no reason they couldn't just actually vote for the woman. And at the very least, they could do what they do on the TV show. Just take a step back and go, look, you know what? We should let her debate. We should definitely let her debate. She should be allowed to debate. And then let her debate and do what she has to do. You don't have to give her any more support than that. Because part of the problem you have is there's no outlet for the message that she has. She has no place to send it.
Right.
And it's been rigged like that to keep control within 2 parties.
Right.
It's been rigged that way. And that's sad. Super sad. I guarantee you that when I ran for supervisor, if I had run as a Republican, I probably would have gotten 4 times as many votes. And if I had run as a Democrat, I would have gotten 3 times as many.
Well, I definitely think that the Republican is true because you were opposing a strong Republican candidate.
And other Republicans felt like there was no other choice but to vote for the Republican.
Right.
So had I been a Republican, I could have gotten a lot of the protest vote.
And you still would have gotten 0 party support at all because she was the chosen one.
Exactly. But just based on ideas alone, I think that would have been the case. And had I run as a Democrat, I would have also gotten more votes.
I think if you'd have run it as a Democrat, the other dude wouldn't have run.
Right. And it's because of that and the exposure, you know?
Stole your platform for that.
Yeah, I know.
Word for word.
I know. It's why I came off better.
Right.
Because what he didn't anticipate was that it wasn't just some
set of talking points.
That was how I felt passionate about those issues because they were part of the top 10 issues in the county.
Right.
And I picked ones that I could get behind, really get behind and fight for. And I was passionate about it. He didn't expect that. And so I knew that wasn't just content we created. That was coming from here and here, the head and the heart, and he didn't expect that. And so he got that back. I think
Well,
that's...
he was a nice enough guy to admit it at the end of the thing. So,
Well, and I think that people in general jump to too many conclusions because, back to where we started and bring it full circle so we can end, they play that game of expectations and they don't bother to think about like I said, you could meet up with them 74 times and pay for their lunch more than half of the time, bring them their favorite snack just because you were at the store and you thought of them and you brought it to them, stupid stuff like that. You could do all this nice stuff. Then on the 75th time, they make you mad, so you slip up and you say something that offends them.
Yep. And suddenly you're the biggest piece of shit in the world.
Biggest piece of garbage in the whole entire universe. And that's the part that makes no sense, because you got to give credit where credit is due. So spread it out a bit, Just like I always say, when someone starts at something, they start with a clean slate. Then I judge them based off of my interactions with them. I don't judge them based off of yours or Ash's or Mitch's. I judge them based off of my interaction with them.
Right.
And that's why you like some people that I don't like, and I like some people you don't like, and we like some people that we both like.
Right.
Generally speaking, the people we both like are the people that are the closest to us.
Right,
but
because
then,
we both like them.
But then after that, you kind of, there's people you like, there's people I like. And what we both do is we compromise. We spend some time with some people you like, sometimes we spend time with people I like. It's not that big of a group, by the way. We're very picky. Very picky. But I agree with you that, you should be able to... I don't really care for those people. Why do I have to be friends with them just because their kid goes to my son's school and likes my son? I don't need to be nice to you because of that.
I mean, respectful, sure.
Yeah, but I don't need to be your best buddy.
We don't need to be friends.
I don't need to be your best buddy. It's just, I don't know. Society's so weird. And in the end, why do what it comes down to is why put the effort into being a good friend when in the end, it's not even going to, you're not benefiting from being a friend at all. Not at all. And I'm not saying you should only do friends because you get a benefit out of it. Like, hey, that person's a good person, so I'm going to give him a free ride because they messed up over here. But you just can't lean, if there's multiple interactions that are super positive and then one that's out of character, realize that it's out of character and don't bash that person to the ground because of it. That's a thing that's wrong. I mean, it's what's funny about what's going on with the Democratic president and vice president. They're going to have to explain, the vice president nominee, they're going to have to explain why just a few months ago they said they agreed that Joe Biden's accuser was correct and that he did do what she accused him of. Just a few months ago.
Right.
They also said, this person said that Joe Biden was nothing but an old rich white man who is racist. She said this. Sorry, now you know which gender this person is. Not that you're surprised. But
everybody already knows.
They said it during the debates. So it wasn't that long ago either. And here we are. It's the weirdest thing. But it's going to cost them because she beat up on him. What's she going to do? Say he changed? You know what happens, right? Now you've got a starting point and an ending point. And you can say, okay, please detail for me what's changed from February 12th to August 11th.
Right.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, no. It's been too recent for you to have forgotten. It should be in your emails. There's all sorts of things that we can find the answer. So stop. Don't lie to me. That's where it goes. So I think that people in general just kind of need to not be so judgy, take a step back, let people make a mistake. And if you want to call that a red flag or whatever, call it a red flag. It's like our rating system with the TV, Sometimes a show gets 2 strikes within 1 episode just because. That's it. So with that said, people, be more patient with people that you meet, people who've been your friends, don't just discard people because, one thing happened and suddenly you paint them in that light. Just don't do that. Oh, and by the way, if you're people who we have had to, set to the side, realize that there's been an extremely long period of patience before that happened.
And on his nice, weirdly cryptic note, good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.